Hi guys, Annabelle here from Horizon Cosplay and welcome to my 12 days of cosplay Christmas. Today we are going to be doing part 2 of making of my Tinkerbell Oh Christmas Tree cosplay. Last time in part 1 you guys saw me make this, which is the base for the, well, we're just going to say the base for the whole dress. Today specifically we're going to be adding all the details to the bodice and making it really pretty and shiny, and oh my god, I'm so excited! I cannot wait to get on with this project, but it is seriously cold, so I hope you guys will forgive the fact that I'm probably going to be wearing lots of thick jumpers and more likely dressing gowns throughout this entire video, because a single thermal shirt only does so much. However, you guys are not here to listen to my clothing choice discussion that I have with myself every time I go to film a video, whether I go warm and cozy or fashionable but cold. So let's get on with adding the details to my Tinkerbell Oh Christmas Tree bodice. And in case any of you missed it, this is the cosplay we're aiming for here. Now, let's get on with it.
I started off by trimming the excess material that I had been saving for the skirt, deciding instead that I would make the skirt out of completely separate pieces.
What I have done is I have trimmed all of the loose bits off the front and the back that we don't need. Originally I was leaving all the lining intact for the simple reason that I was going to sew all the holly leaves for the skirt onto it. The problem is the lining is so weak, it's just not going to work. The lining from the other dress is much stronger, and I did leave all of the lining panels of that other dress's skirt intact, specifically because I was thinking of using it for this. I'm bloody glad I did. So we've trimmed it, I've pinned all the front out of the way, but I've left the lining inside loose. This is because I have made the decision that we are going to put some boning in this. So in 2 secs I'm just going to start sewing some boning channels that we can sew into the lining. All the bottom is open, so I'm not really too worried about putting the lining channels in there. The other thing I've done is I took great pains making a holly leaf pattern for the base of the bodice. However, having gone back and re-looked at the dress, it looks like her bodice is one thing, then she has leaves stuck onto the bodice which flow into her skirt on the top. So this holly leaf pattern we're actually not going to see, and so I've just decided to make it smooth. I have still put it at an angle because her one seems to be at an angle. I think I'm going to end up with a lot more holly leaves on this dress than I'm anticipating, and I am just hoping to God that I have enough fabric, but we will see. I'm fairly confident that I have enough. Let's put this to one side, get to the boning channels, and we'll pin them all in place and get stitching. I'm hoping this only takes a day or two because it says 12 days of cosplay Christmas up there, but I'm running a bit behind on filming all the videos. Alright, wish me luck. Let's get going.
It was here that I then made the wonderful discovery that the folded over edges of the bedsheet fitted my boning perfectly. So rather than sewing all new boning channels, I just got my pinking shears and trimmed along the edge, giving me about 5 meters of boning channel that was done and pre-made.
So what we've ended up with is these 2 very long pieces of fabric in the perfect size to do boning channels, and the best bit is I don't even have to sew them. I have cut them with pinking shears to help stop them from fraying, though to be honest, when it comes to raw edges on this particular garment, I haven't been too strict myself so far and probably won't be in future. Don't ask me why, I haven't really got an explanation for it. So we're going to pin these all into place, stitch them on, put the boning in, and yeah, then we can start adding some details. Oh, I'm quite excited about this.
Top tip for anyone else sewing a corset type bodice, add the boning before you sew the front and the lining together. I then brought out the old and trusty sewing machine and stitched as much of the boning channels as I could by machine before finishing the padded bra pieces off by hand. I then used a zigzag stitch to help resemble the holly leaf stem across the front of the bodice. Unfortunately, because I'd already attached the back of the bodice to the front, all the smaller stems that branch off from the main one had to be hand sewn. I did this by using a satin stitch, sketching out where I wanted the stems to go in pencil before sewing over the top.
Okay guys, it's like 9 o'clock at night, it's late, it's dark, it's cold, there's no way this is getting done today, so please forgive me. I'm going to take my makeup off and I hope you guys don't suffer too much. At the moment I'm hand stitching where I can't get the sewing machine the veins of the leaf. At the moment I'm hand stitching the thick veins of the leaf. At some point I think I'm going to hand stitch the thinner little veins and lines. So this bit at the front is the stitching that I've done with a machine, and this wobbly bit at the side is the bit I did by hand. Don't ask why it's wobbly, I'm not too sure, but I'm not fixing it because it actually does kind of go with what I want. This other bit also is what I've done by hand. Now looking at the picture, she seems to have 4 spikes coming off. She has 1 in the center, one to that side, one to this side, and one coming off the bottom here towards where the skirt will go on this side just here. So we're going to get on with those, and if we can get those 4 pieces done tonight, great, and then we'll add all of the little bits and pieces in the middle after that.
And while we watch this latest time lapse, here's another Christmas fun fact. Although holly berries are poisonous to people and pets, they didn't stop Romans from displaying the boughs of the winter hardy plant in their homes to celebrate, let's hope I pronounce this right, Saturnalia, a winter festival honouring the gods of agriculture, Saturn, and marking the much anticipated transition from the darkness of winter to the light of spring. In a tradition that holds to this day, the ancient people fashioned sprigs of the vibrant plant into garlands and even tacked them onto gifts to make the giving season that much brighter.
Okay, so it's about 2 a.m, 3 a.m-ish, and I just ran out of thread. Oh dear. Now, luckily, I do still have some thread on my bobbin. It probably looks like quite a lot. Trust me, it isn't. Luckily, I've only got 2 large leaf veins, we're going to call them, left to do. I think I've got enough to do those. I did shorten one of the leaf veins by like half just so that I had enough stuff to do the other 2. I'm actually kind of sad about this. This was the thread that Ben's grandmother gave me that she's had since like the 60s, and it's finally gotten used on a Christmas costume. Like all of it, like the entire freaking reel. But you know what? At least it got used, I suppose, and I'm really happy with how it's coming out so far, which hopefully means it's going to get worn a lot. It does mean I need to go through my thread stash and find another thread or another 2 threads that I can do all of the little veins with, but I feel like that's probably going to be a problem for tomorrow, so we're going to finish these last 2 veins tonight, and then I finally think it might be time for me to head to bed. Alright, so guys, I thought you might like to have a look at what I got up to last night. So it's really starting to look like a leaf. So the main line on the front is machine embroidered, everything else is hand done. I've run out of thread, and I've rummaged through, and I've got 3 other green threads that we're going to use, and basically what we're going to do is try and put a lot of little veins. I have got a tiny bit of this green thread, like we're talking a few centimeters, like maybe about a foot of thread left, which I do want to do because it is a very similar colour to this normal green, maybe some stitch in the ditch just to hold the front of the bodice to the lining that's on the inside, just because I find the boobs are a little bit loose. So these are the 3 threads we've got right now. We've got a light green, a medium green, and a dark green. I'm just going to do a single line of stitching, and looking at how the greens look, I'm kind of leaning towards the medium green. I might try and use a bit of a variety, but the medium green for me at the moment is just kind of looking a bit better from my perspective. So we're going to start with that and see how we go. The thing is that I think it is very likely I'm probably going to use another reel of thread in this project, in which case I think my second preference is actually going to be the dark green, but we'll see how we go. So it's currently midnight, and this is what I've done so far. So basically all these little veins are all hand stitched. I'm back stitching them all. I'm not being too fussy about this little bit at the bottom because that's going to be covered over with the skirt's holly leaves in theory, but these ones I'm doing a little bit tighter together, adding some nicer stitches. Started all up here, one little bit out here, and we've got one line going onto the front bodice, and this is probably somewhere around the 2 hours worth of work, which means that this is going to take way longer than I thought. Oh my gosh, but it is so worth it. I love how it looks, like love how it looks. And my main thing is that I want to do this on every holly leaf, but my current estimate for holly leaves for the skirt is probably at least 50, and if I hand stitch every single one with all of these veins, it's not going to get done by Christmas, and I want to release this video. So I'm going to not do the veins, I'm just going to do the thick bits on machine with the holly leaf. I'm not going to hand stitch them because I don't need to. Fingers crossed this will come out very nicely. Also, Sherlock's keeping me company. It's really funny because if I was asleep in the bed, he'd be sleeping on the bed, but because I'm on here, he's sleeping on our sofa instead.
The hand stitching did indeed take a while. In fact, it technically took several days, which was an estimation but was still really annoying and meant that on my own self-imposed deadline, I was now running quite far behind.
So it's now 3 o'clock in the morning, so this is 2.5 hours later, and this is how far we've got. The back panel here is all done and looking fabulous. The front panel, we've nearly finished this first bit. We have gone into the second, so I'd probably say that this panel would be done if I hadn't followed the lines over to here, but it is looking really good. I'm a bit more tired than I was anticipating, so we're going to go to bed now. Aren't we, Sherlock? Oh, he's already in bed. Hi guys, so it's been a couple days and I just feel the need to explain why it's been a couple days for me to finish this bodice, though I'm not complaining, it is coming out beautifully. I have been saving the last bit to do on camera. You can see all of the leafy veins, it's looking really good, and the last bit that I have to finish is just this little back piece here. Now, the reason I haven't finished it as quickly as I wanted to is because I didn't get it done on the day I planned to do it, and what happened, if you might notice, there's a few boxes and other random things, and you'll probably see in the background of the video that my office right now is a bit of a mess. This is because me and Ben moved internationally a few months ago, so we came from New Zealand back to the UK, and all of our stuff just arrived. Yay! So we have our things back, which means I have my really nice sewing machine and my nice embroidery machine, so hopefully I can show you guys those. The other thing that was really exciting is this. So this is the fabric for my Christmas night dress that I will be making, and though you can't see it from a distance, when you get up close, there is cats. Now, I'm incredibly excited to use this fabric, but we need to finish our current project first before I get working on it. So, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to finish hand sewing this last little bit while watching a bit of YouTube, and then we are going to get on with adding in all the boning and sealing up the base of it so that we have a finished bodice for the end of this video. Honestly, this video has contained way more time-lapsing than I intended, but then again, I also didn't intend to hand stitch this, which is why I only thought it was going to take me a day to make. But sometimes life is life, and you know what, it's come out better for it. I am incredibly proud with how this turned out. For now, let's time-lapse the shit out of this and finally get the hand stitching on this bodice finished. Let's go!
Editing Annabelle here, saying that hopefully for your sake and mine, this is indeed the final time lapse. But don't worry, I cannot wait to show you the finished product. It came out beautifully.
Hey guys, I've been chucked off my desk because, as I mentioned earlier, room's a bit of a mess, we're sorting stuff out, and I've just moved onto the floor because I'm currently using my desk to try my sewing machines, make sure they all still work. A whole bunch of other stuff is getting organised up there, so we're going to sit on the floor for this one, and all the hand embroidery is finished. I am so proud of it. However, I am aware that because the fabric is shiny, someone on Skype actually pointed out to me yesterday, it actually doesn't look that great on camera, which is a shame just because of how it is. I mean, I don't think it looks bad. I still need to attach the outside fabric to the inside fabric. I'm going to do some stitch and a ditch across both the boobs once the boning is inserted, and the last thing I'm going to do is just add, I'm definitely going to add 2 more boning channels to the inside back. I am debating about adding boning channels to the sides as well. I think I probably will if I've got enough boning channel left, but the back is going to take priority, and basically where you can see there's a seam just here, we're going to do on the lining where it has the same like back dart basically, and we're going to do a boning channel down there. Now, I can't do a boning channel along the actual side seam just because, quite honestly, I wasn't the smartest when I was putting this all together, and so that adding the boning channel there will be a bit awkward. I'm going to try and add all these boning channels by machine stitching because I really don't want to have to hand stitch anymore. It's been really fun, and it's been a really nice project to pick up and put down, and I love how it looks, but I'm kind of done with hand sewing just for the moment. I am aware that I'm going to have to at least hand stitch the veins for the leaves on the top layer of the skirt, but I think the rest of it we're going to leave off. So yeah, so join me while I quickly pin the boning channels and give them a sew.
Of course, I ended up having to hand stitch those boning channels as well, and again, here's another time lapse. Just one more to add to the collection.
So that's all the boning channels sewed, and I've pinned up the lining and the front together. The other thing I'm going to do really quick before I insert the boning, just the final how does it fit check, is just lace it up at the back real quick, try it on, make sure that there's no bits that are particularly loose or whatever, and then providing that's all comfy, we're going to add the boning and stitch it all up and call it done. Oh my gosh, why do these projects always take so damn long? Okay, so one little trick I have when I have to put on a lace-up corset by myself and I don't want the laces slipping out is I'll just quickly do a slip knot at the bottom. So all I've got to do is literally pull that and it will come undone, but it will just stop it pulling out of any of the holes, because in the process of getting it on, I don't want to lose any holes that it's threaded through. Also, it means I can find the knot once it's on and pull it to make it tight. Obviously, it doesn't always work as easy as that, but in theory, it's not too bad. Look, this tiger is attacking my feet while I try and put the bodice on. Cheeky monkey. This is the final fit of the bodice. I haven't got it particularly tight laced. I'll probably have it done tighter than this one I've got the boning in. Right, now I've got to wiggle my way out of this.
The boning was nice and easy to put in and didn't even use too much. I was really pleased about this, as though I have this giant reel, I do want to try and use it for as many projects as possible.
Alright guys, this is the finished bodice and I am so happy with it. I know it doesn't fit the dress form perfectly, and that's literally just because I haven't adjusted the dress form to my size. I just haven't had time. There's been a lot of unpacking and stuff going on, but I really like it. Things I would do differently. I would deconstruct the back of the dress rather than just leaving it alone and sewing the back to the front. It would have made the hand embroidery a lot easier. From the front as well, we only have this one leaf line, so when you're looking at it straight on, I'm not convinced it entirely looks like a leaf. I'm hoping that once I add the holly leaves, it's going to look a little bit better, but we'll see. However, if you look at it all around, I'm pretty sure it looks fairly leafy. The boning channels, again, seriously happy with. Bit of a shame I can't put the extra boning channel down the side, but the ones at the front are perfect, and actually I angled them incredibly well, so the boning actually goes all the way up to the point up here, which will hold these in place, which was the main problem I was having during fitting, is that they were just flopping down and everything. Now you might notice that the bottom of the bodice is still pinned and not sewn up when I'm calling this video done. Now the reason for this is that I need to attach the skirt. Now I'm going to do this in my next video, however just for now we've still got the pins in the bottom, and what I'm going to do is measure out the skirt, do that in the next video. Talking about the next video, if you want to see how this dress comes out, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check back on Christmas Eve for the final dress reveal. Otherwise guys, please help spread the Christmas cheer by giving me a like, and if you've got any questions, comments, or festive sayings, traditions, I don't know, whatever you want to tell me, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to read them. I'm getting so excited for Christmas, which upon filming this, Christmas is considerably further away than it is when you're viewing it, and right now Ben is about to kill me because I keep watching lots and lots of Christmas movies. What can I say? This is my season. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of 12 Days of Cosplay Christmas. Bye!